DLC is not the devil. I see so many people these days pointing to DLC and saying, "That's what's wrong with gaming these days," like all DLC is bad. DLC isn't what's wrong with the industry, at least not on its own. Pre-orders and ransoming of content is something I have an issue with, but that's another video. I'm a firm believer that DLC can be done well, and it can also be done badly. Here's some examples of what I think is bad DLC. Day 1 DLC. Before Mass Effect 3 launched, BioWare decided to go full retard and announced that there was going to be paid DLC available to players the same day the game was to be released. This obviously pissed a lot of people off, mainly because it gives the impression that they finished the game, then decided to cut out content and sell it to us separately. This is bad DLC. BioWare did come out and attempt some damage control by defending their position. They said that the game had been finished and sent away for certification ahead of schedule, so before the game came out they had time to make some DLC and prepare it for sale in time for the release. I may be wrong, but I thought all content had to be sent away for certification before being sold to the public, but I guess not if BioWare's response is to be believed. But that's not the point. The point is that even if the content wasn't already made and then cut out to be sold separately, it really looks like it was, and that's almost as bad. Disc-locked content. This is shitty, but the developers are entirely within their rights to do it. Disc-locked content is basically content that's already on the disc, but is locked behind a paywall. Gears of War 3 had this. The entire first map pack for the game was already on the disc, you just had to pay for a tiny little file that would unlock it for you. That sucks ass. Street Fighter Cross Tekken did the same fucking thing. They had characters on the disc that you had to pay for once the DLC became available. In their defense, Capcom did say those disc-locked characters weren't finished. So it's not like they made the completed characters and then stuck them behind a paywall. But wait! Some PC gamers hacked the game and were able to play as these supposedly unfinished characters just fine. So disc-locked content is totally shitty, but like I said, it's totally legal. Some people got so angry at this style of DLC that they were threatening to sue the developers or publishers involved. The trouble is that not too many people know that when you buy a game on a disc, you're not buying the content that's on the disc. You don't own that stuff, and don't have the claimed right to access everything on the disc I paid for. What you're actually paying for is the license to play the content on the disc that the developer is giving you permission to play. They choose what parts of the content that's on the disc you're allowed to play, but like I said, it's totally shitty. Some games even have their ending sealed away behind a pay gate. The fucking ending! That is disgusting, and gamers rightly reacted against it. So DLC can of course be bad and or overpriced, but what about good DLC? DLC done right. You could argue that it's all subjective and the perceived value of content depends on who you're talking to, so I try to look at DLC that's not good just because I liked it, but because of how it affects the main game. If I'm playing a game and it feels unfinished, like the rest of the game is coming further down the line, I don't like it. To me, good DLC should be something that builds on top of a game, rather than being a missing piece of the puzzle. Cosmetic DLC. This can be anything from weapons, skins, to clothes and accessories for your virtual doll to wear. This is all good by me, so long as the changes are cosmetic and don't give you an advantage over players who don't buy it. That's verging on pay to win, and as we all know, pay to win sucks. You want your gun to be all psychedelic colours or your avatar to be wearing gold hot pants? That's all good. Map packs. Map packs are a great way for developers to keep their games fresh and relevant long after release day. You buy a game and it comes with a handful of maps for the multiplayer component. A few months down the line, more maps are released, giving players more reasons to stay with that game. Map packs are usually reasonably priced in my opinion. We get more of the game we love and the developers get to keep working on it and making some cash. It's a win-win. Expansion DLC. This is DLC that expands the game, obviously. Great examples are The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony for GTA 4. The game GTA 4 is in itself a finished product. You can play it just fine without buying DLC and you don't miss out on anything, the game is complete. But the two add-ons they released simply gave players more of the game they loved. New cars, new radio stations, new weapons, new side activities, hell, even a new story. Obviously it was much shorter than the main game story, but there's still a good chunk of missions to play through. This was DLC done right. It was done so right in fact that they released the two add-ons as their own standalone product, no need for the main game to be anywhere near them. The same can be said for Dawnguard and Dragonborn DLC packs for Skyrim. New enemies, new weapons, new powers and perks, new spells, new locations, and new quests, and you don't feel like you've been shortchanged if you don't buy them. So you see, DLC can be done badly, but when a developer gets it right, boy is it a welcome addition. DLC is not the devil. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours.